Hey, how's it going, everyone? It is Virgio. We're back with another chapter of Deadrock, Chapter 18, The Slime and the Nine-Tailed Fox. And the cover page for this chapter has Hein, and it's just in a bunch of pots and just kind of various monster-looking objects. It's honestly a little bit messy, and there's a lot going on in this cover. But I do kind of like some of the monster objects that are in this. But otherwise, I think the cover is pretty okay. So the beginning of this chapter is just mainly summarizing the beginning of this tournament so far. I do like that you immediately get the class congratulating Yakuto for his win. I also love the fact that they bring up that his win was very gory, and did he need to be so gory with his opponent? But even Frey herself is hyping herself up for her fight against Luzin, which takes you immediately into the next match, which is Setsuna versus Virgio. And pretty much crowd-wise, everyone seems to be going for Setsuna. Everyone's going wild for her. Whoever would win this match would be Yakuto's next opponent. And Setsuna starts off with a flower attack called Flowers of Flame, which I'm sure will probably be pretty looking when it gets animated, which sets her opponent on fire, but that doesn't seem to do too much to him because he turns himself into slime and wraps around her, since he can apparently absorb whatever element he comes into contact with, which he has to think that he's doing her in because he says die from your own attack, which is pretty callous to be using their own attack against them, but apparently that just straight up buffs Setsuna to where she literally goes into a nine-tailed fox mode, which obviously there's a ton of Ninetales stuff throughout media, from Pokemon to Naruto to even in Fairy Tail you have Lizana have a fox mode, and honestly her going into this nine-tailed fox mode seems to have her be very eager to kill him, to where she literally says, "Your life, please," with a snake-like expression on her face. And I guess her root is a specter that can control souls. And she follows this up by doing Soulfire Dragon Tail. Pretty much leaves nothing left. He just gets turned ash. And once again, I don't know why the heck we're doing this, to where we're showing a backstory of Virgio as to why he is in Deadrock and his whole life goals, literally as he's dying. And Setsuna wins this match with nothing left of her opponent, just a burning rubble of ash, with her going on to be Yakuto's next opponent. And honestly, it seems like they could potentially be getting along here, and maybe they will be breaking the rules, because in her mind she's saying Yuri just a little longer and God will be within reach. So it seems like they could potentially have the same goal to kill God, but you don't get any time to sit on it because you go immediately into the next match, which is Lloyd versus Eje. And Eje is just not even caring about this match. He's literally just staring at Yakuto even as the match begins. But as Lloyd is going to attack, he literally turns into a werewolf and straight up just one-shots Lloyd, breaking half of his face. So that match really did not last long whatsoever. And still, this whole time, he's still just staring at Yakuto, basically trying to send a message to him, like, this is about to happen to you, buddy. I like that you get a callback to the beginning of this chapter to where they're talking to Yakuto about him being too gory, and now they're basically talking to him and being like, yeah, that's a guy that's literally trying to kill you. And he has basically the same expression that he did at the beginning of the chapter. But before the next match starts, you get Yakuto talking with Frey, cheering her on for her match, which is going to be Frey versus Luzin, which she is very dead serious in this final page of this chapter, which you don't get their fight just yet. That's going to be next chapter, which she just immediately wants to murder that guy. And with that is the end of the chapter, so my thoughts. This chapter went by really fast. I mean, most of it was just the two fights, and one fight literally ended in a one-shot. I'm more excited for the Frey versus Luzin fight. I don't know why we're getting the backstories for people that are literally dying as of their backstory being shown. I don't know. It's not like showing that after they're dead is all of a sudden going to get me to care about their death. I would have preferred you almost did that before they die. Show each character's backstory and motivation. but waiting till after they die is a kind of a weird spot to place it, and honestly it's like, dude, they're already dead, I don't particularly care now. But besides that, I honestly kind of like that nine-tailed fox transformation, and that it's a fire attack. And since it seems like she is probably going to be able to control other animals, not just a nine-tailed fox with her root, because it seems to be soul-based, kind of maybe like Mira Jane-esque or Lizana. But I pretty much figured that these fights were going to go by pretty darn fast, and obviously the big one that we're building up to here is Frey versus Luzin, which I pretty much figured that these fights were going to go really fast, which the big one that we're obviously building to is Frey versus Luzin, which I'm super excited for that one, and which I'm sure that's probably going to go most of the chapter. So what are your guys' thoughts on this chapter? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Virgio, signing out.